Hi guys, welcome back to At Home with Holly. My name's Holly and I'm so glad that you guys are here with me today. We are going to be starting out planting this pile of plants. We're going to be planting all around in front of the chicken coop for our cottage garden. So I'm going to take you through some of the plants that we have here. Some of them I'm going to move back out to the front yard, I think. Also, it wasn't supposed to rain, but so if it starts to rain, we'll continue this tomorrow. But some of these plants need to go to the front yard. I've been collecting them from the garden center and local gardeners that sell perennials, and some of them I transplanted from other parts of our garden. So we've got kind of a hodgepodge, but we're going to make it work. So these need to go out to the front. These are dianthus. These are dianthus, and these were actually $1 because they were dying. It's a 6-pack from the farm store, and this is a dianthus. And then this one it's a hibiscus, but isn't it absolutely gorgeous? It's just a little plug start, but I've got two of them, one out, and I think I'm gonna put them both out in front. And then this was, I forget if this is a phlox or I forget, but this was a plant out front and I thought it was dying, so I pulled it up and turns out it's okay now. So I'm gonna replant that out in the front yard. So this wheelbarrow full is gonna go to the front yard. And then this over here is stuff that we're working with. So we've got some daylilies and some lavender and some bee balm and a whole bunch of the creeping phlox and Shasta daisies, and yeah, so we're just gonna get this I'm gonna kind of place it all around and see if we like it and how it feels, and then we'll kind of go from there. This is what we're looking like so far, but okay, it's the next morning. Let's see what we can get into. Now, I laid out these plants yesterday and I think I'm going to move them all. So yeah, I'm going to spend a little more time laying these things out because we have a lot of creeping phlox and they spread like 18 to 24 inches. And I don't want a perfect line. I kind of want to zigzag them around and then place some of the things that get taller, maybe more towards the back. So yeah, I'm going to play with those a little bit and see what feels right. Might need to get some more creeping phlox. Who would have thunk? I thought I was going to have too many. Okay. So, because I've got all these different shades of purple, like the purple and the pink, I'm trying to not put the same ones next to each other, just so that they kind of spread out and look good. But the door's going to open basically to here, so I don't want to put anything. I'm going to put a couple other pavers right here, so I don't want to put anything too close to there. So we'll put this. I want them to touch though. Definitely thinking I'll have to pick up a couple more, but we'll see. Maybe not. Lilies, daylilies, so stargazer. Anyway, they have several in each pot, so we'll be able to separate for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this pot alone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plants just from that one little start. And that is why I love daylilies. They're really hard to kill and they multiply. Do have mesh wire, but I think the bulbs will be just fine. The daylilies will be just fine. I have mesh wire so that predators can't dig, and it does go about a foot out from my coop, so we'll just have to plant around that, and that's okay. So this one gets foot tall, 14 inches wide, or 16 to 20 inches wide. So we'll put that one a little more, like a little more right here. That's a good sign. Okay, friend, so this is one of those projects that I started with all the intentions in the world to knock out in like a day or two. And I very quickly learned that this project was going to take much, much, much longer. The ground around the perimeter of the chicken coop, not only does it have 24 inches of the wire mesh so that predators can't dig through, but it also is extremely compacted and clay. So there was no easy digging a hole. Every single hole was packed full of clay and really tight and had to cut wire out and just a mess. But the good news is we did get it done. Now, some of the perennials do end up looking very stressed because this project actually takes me 5 weeks because I start and stop and start and stop so many times. But a lot of the perennials that I got, I was able to get them on discount because it was way past when you really normally would be planting perennials, or they already multiplied in their little pots by the time that we got around to planting them. So it ended up working out to be more affordable this way. But the beginning of this project, I took a lot of time and thought about where should things go and how's it going to look really balanced around the chicken coop. And then I realized this is crazy, Holly. Just plant the plants and they're going to grow and fill in and be lovely. You really can't go wrong. So I ended up just doing that. And then halfway through, I was like, oh, I have these really large pavers in my garage that I got for a project when I first moved in and I never used them. And wouldn't this be a good time to use them up and get them out of my garage? So I put the larger pavers around in all the places that we are going to be walking, like through the entry doors, where their feeders and waters are and all that kind of stuff. So I got those set up, and then I thought, well, these pavers are actually the perfect size to put underneath the green stalk planters. And so I have the green stalk planter that has the spinner and the rollers. I like the spinner because you can rotate the plant. I do not need the rollers once I got them on a level paver. So I do have that option to move them if in the future I don't like them here. But for right now, I just went ahead and moved it onto one of those pavers, and then I cleaned up the space where it originally was because I do have a second green stalk that I'm going to set up right where the original one was. Okay, guys, so it's about 5.5 weeks since we started this project. Oh my gosh. Okay, so today I have little helpers. I have our 4 chicks that are outside in their little outside coop. And they're going to be outside for a little bit today while we're working on the cottage garden. So far I've planted a handful of plants. I have installed some pavers. I have moved one of the green stalks. I have gotten a second green stalk that's going to be planted up in the next few days. And today I want to try to get all of the rest of the things in the ground. We'll see how far we get. This has just been one of those where filling it in when we can. So let's go ahead and get some more stuff filled in. So for the final phase of this, I'm going to be sorting through the plants that I haven't planted yet. A couple of them died. Most of them are looking super, super stressed. So I've got my trifecta plus fertilizer. I've got some pea gravel to lay in between the plants once I'm done getting them all planted. I've picked up a few more, clearance finds of some daylilies and some of this plant that I've never even heard of before, but it looked really pretty and was a one that spread pretty nicely and stayed pretty low. So I'm going to go ahead and start just filling in all the gaps. I've got the pavers placed where I wanted them to go. I've got all the holes laid out but not dug. And then again, this was one of those days where I hit a lot of clay, but we just kind of powered through. So I got everything on this side planted out, got the pea gravel laid down. And then I ended up being super happy with the way this all was looking. Oh, this plant in particular, the roots were good, a little root bound, a lot root bound. But a lot of these perennials, the blooms may have died because they were sitting in pots for too long, but you can just plant them and deadhead the blooms, and they'll spend all their energy. They spend the next week's energy going and pushing roots down and establishing themselves, and they'll come back and bloom again. It'll be just fine. But even if they don't bloom again this season, the fact that they are getting established and where they need to go is totally fine with me. So I just took a second to just snip off all the little dead blooms and just kept going, planting more of them. I ended up having the perfect amount of plants. I did have some leftover Shasta daisies that I end up going in the fence line. But from here on out, everything is just looking really, really nice. For each of these holes that I was digging through the stone, just kidding, the clay soil, I actually ended up taking out the clay soil, and then I would put it down along the fence line. My back fence of my property has a wildflower patch, and there are some low spots where some bunnies, lots of bunnies, have been coming through the fence. So I went ahead and just took all the extra soil, this clay stuff, and put it down along the fence line to plug up some of those holes. You guys, I love it. I love it. This is gonna pretty up this space so much. I can't wait to see it once the green stalk's put together right there, and once that side's done. Okay, it's the next morning. It's hot and humid, but it was super hot and humid last night. So I'm hoping that since it's the morning, I'll have a little easier time, and I'll be able to knock out the second half of this. Fingers crossed. We've got iced coffee. I've been hydrated. We're gonna get this done. So let's see what we can get finished today. Friends, even if it was 10,000 degrees outside or pouring rain, I would have just kept pushing through to get this project done at this point because it has taken so long and I could see the end. I could smell the finish line. So I just kept plugging in some plants, spreading out pea gravel, and making it all the way around the corner. Okay, I just took a break to move the chickens inside because it is looking a little bit like rain. So I brought the chickens inside. Got about 4 or 5 plants left. Gonna finish this up. This one is Drummond's Pink Phlox. Now, if you buy daylilies and they come in a pot with all these little mini plants in them, you do not have to separate these. I just was like, okay, I don't want to have to buy 15 full-size plants. So I knew that I know it's going to take a while for them to get larger, but they are going to get really large and fill out nicely. So I went ahead and separated them. This one pot, I think, gave me like 8 altogether. So I was super happy to have this little bonus plant. I think Olivia actually picked it out from the nursery and was like, this one's got a ton. So this was able to give me so many plants, and we were able to plant it on this side and around the corner. So super grateful for that. Okay, you guys, we did it. So we got everything planted. Let me go around the geobins. It's looking so good. So we got everything planted over here. So we have alyssum and lilies and phlox and bee balm and lavender. So many plants. And we have them going all the way around on the other side as well. So right now, all the things are really little. They're going to grow in and fill out, and it's going to look like just a magical little cottage garden. So this took a lot. I was going to say a little longer, but this took a lot longer than we had originally planned for. But I'm super happy with the way it turned out. I'm excited to see how it all grows in together. We're going to get our second green stalk in the cherry blossom planted up. We've got some more plants going around this way too. So all in all, this just turned out beautiful. So I want to thank you guys so much for all the likes and the comments and the shares. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. We have a ton more projects and growing and harvesting and preserving and fun stuff to do. So I appreciate you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye, my friend.